Hey, what's up guys? So my last video was kind of complete trash because I didn't even realize, but I was using the microphone from my webcam that I don't even use, so that's why the audio was so buns. I was trying to figure it out. I had to crank up the audio like 4 times, but a few of you liked the video, so I figured I should make a tutorial a little bit better quality for the people that still want to watch me explain what I'm doing. So I scoundered the internet for my favorite video of my favorite anime waifu, and I'm gonna be showing you guys how to have glowing eyes, because you guys have boring eyes and you want like sick eyes and you want your followers to be like, oh my god, I love your eyes. So let's get straight into it. So the first thing that you want to do is make sure that your clip is pre-composed. If you did all your Twixter and stuff to make his hair all dreamy and cute, then make sure you pre-compose, because the rotoscoping and all that stuff just is not going to want to work if you have a time remap or a Twixter on your layer. So pre-compose it. It'll keep the Twixter on there but not make it so that anything can affect it. So there's a couple different ways that you can achieve this glowing eyes look. The first method is going to be rotoscoping. So what you're going to want to do is duplicate your layer. You can hide this one if you want. You really don't have to. It's just going to make the background black while you're rotoscoping. I like to do it. It makes it a little bit easier. So you're going to want to click the roto brush tool up here. Double click your layer. And then make sure you're at the beginning of your timeline and select your eyeball. It says that I'm gonna want to change the brush stroke to full for the best results. So to go back and change that without changing your rotoscope is click right here, go to full, and then you can go back and then see it already has a way better lineup of my eyeball. So make sure you're in full quality every time that you're doing that. And if sometimes it's gonna say that your rotoscope won't work because of the composition settings are not the same as your layer. So say it was 60, it's gonna say set the composition to 59.94 for it to work, because it's really gonna mess it up if you keep it off the same frame rate. So make sure it's 59.94, the same as your clip. Some clips are 27 frames, some clips are 60, but for this is going to be 59 point whatever. So make sure you have a clean rotoscope of what you actually want. As you can see here, his hair kind of goes through right here, but that should be fine because it's going to pick up the movement and everything. And since this is like a slow motion clip and there's a lot of movement, you're going to want to make sure you use motion blur. That's really going to help you out. And then once you have all that, press freeze. And just wait for that to finish. See, as you can see, it's doing a really good job of keeping the eye in there while not adding the hair. Even though there's a lot of white in the eye and the hair is completely white, it knows that these are two different things. Okay, now that you have your duplicated layer, you can see that, let me change the background to black so that you can see it a little bit better. You can see our eyes are cut out, and if I turn on the other layer, you won't even be able to tell that they're cut out because it's just that perfect. And if we take away the other layer and just show the movement, you can see the hair going through. So the hair isn't going to be glowing, it's just going to be the eyes. You can see it cuts out the hair. So what I like to do is keep the other one hidden, because if you see, you can add any type of glow that you want. I'm sure most of my subscribers are broke like me and are just going to be using the default glow. So if you're going to be doing that, make sure that you set the radius to around 30 for the first glow and the intensity to like 1.3, and then duplicate that one, turn the radius up, and duplicate that one, and turn the radius up again, turn the threshold down for the last one, and turn it a little bit down for the second one. You can see we have a nice little glow, and then you can show your layer and show what's glowing. And that looks pretty good. I mean, you can mess around with the glows or move two of them. You can see it's still really glowy. You can change the threshold and increase the radius. If you increase the radius too much, it's just gonna spread it out to where you can't see it. But if you increase the intensity and then the radius, you can get more of like a spreaded glow. And if you remove the top layer, you can see the difference it's making in those glowing eyes. But if you really want the best look on any of these methods of achieving the glowing eyes, you're gonna have to use deep glow. It is just on another level of glow. Like, that is just so perfect on default. And I just dropped it down, and the spread, this, like, it's just so good. But make sure that you press unmolt if you're using deep glow, and just look at the instant result on that. Like, that, tell me that's not beautiful. And you can turn your quality down so you can actually see what you're rendering. See the glow, the before and after with that is just insane. So the second method is going to be using, what's it called, linear color key. So linear color key is basically going to choose the color of blue and take it out, and then you can glow it. So it's probably going to pick up some of the other blues in this scene. So let's go ahead and do that. You're going to want to start by duplicating your layer. Go to the top layer, add your linear color key, and what you're going to want to do is grab the dropper. And what I do is I pick the brightest color blue in his eye, and then you can see it's already a pretty good result, because if I turn you can use this as a reference, because if I turn the matching tolerance up, you can see the black is where it's cutting out everything. Like, it's considering everything blue at that point, so it's just going to take everything out. And then the softness is just going to be just the spread, basically, of your areas. So it's going to be like a less version of the other one. So that looks pretty good with the default settings. So what you're going to want to do next is really easy. You're going to want to invert that same layer, make sure it's below the linear color key, and then change your channel to alpha. And what this is going to do is, if you take away the bottom layer, only showing these colors. So if we add something like a deep glow to this, then you can see that if we unmolt it, it's going to glow the blue and a little bit of other areas, because there's some blue in the other areas, so it's still gonna glow those areas. And that's what it's gonna look like afterwards. It's gonna look really good, especially with that white. It's just glowing over his eyes. I think it looks amazing. So if you add hue saturation underneath this, you can actually go to your master hue selection, and you can actually change the color of the glow. So if you wanted Gojo's eyes to be pink, and you can make them pink, and it looks really good. And if you wanted to make that color glow more, you can bring your glow underneath your hue and saturation, and it'll add a little bit of a extra glow to it. If you want to increase the exposure and then the radius a little bit, you know, you can customize it to how you want your Gojo to look. But so after you have that finished, you're gonna want to just put your clips together, pre-compose them into one, and then there you have your Gojo with glowing eyes. So the last method is going to be downloading a glowing eye overlay. Okay, so I was going to show another method where I just green screen the eyeballs and put them on there, but I realize it's too ghetto and cheap even for me, so I'm just not gonna show that because I just don't want anybody downloading viruses or just making a crappy edit. So yeah, that'll be the end of today's video. If you guys successfully made your eyes glow, let me know. Oh, that rhymed, hold on. But you guys have a great rest of your day. I hope your New Year's is going well, and peace.